What if I told you that the reason you haven't reached the level of success you want has nothing to do with how hard you work? Not your skills, not your strategy, not even your mindset, at least not in the way you think. The real problem is your energy. And right now, as you watch this, something or someone is draining it, silently, daily, without you even noticing. And as long as that keeps happening, it doesn't matter how many courses you take, how many goals you set, or how hard you hustle. The results will stay the same. Today I'm going to show you exactly how this happens, who's doing it, and most importantly, how to stop it. Stay until point number 3. That's the one most people never see coming, and it's costing them everything. Master Shi Hengyi, one of the most respected Shaolin masters in the world, said something that completely changed the way I think about success. It is not the external circumstances that hold you back. It is the internal state from which you operate. Read that again, because that sentence contains everything. Here's how I want you to think about your energy. Imagine it's a battery. Every morning you wake up with a certain charge. That charge is what you use to think clearly, to make good decisions, to take bold action, to attract opportunities, to build real prosperity. Now imagine that throughout your day, without you realizing it, there are invisible holes in that battery. Draining conversations, toxic people, endless scrolling, negative thought loops, environments that pull you down. By the end of the day, what's left? Exhaustion, frustration, that feeling of doing a lot but going nowhere. That's not bad luck. That's the silent theft of your most valuable resource. Today, we're covering the 5 biggest energy thieves and the exact moves to protect yourself from each one. 1. Emotional vampires. The first energy thief has a face, has a name, and is probably in your phone contacts right now. They're called emotional vampires, and they're not necessarily bad people. They're just people who, because of their own emptiness, feed off your attention, your time, and your emotional energy. How do you recognize them? They always have a new problem. Every time you talk to them, you walk away feeling heavier, drained, or somehow guilty. They never have solutions, only complaints. And the moment you try to set a boundary, suddenly you're the villain. Here's the science behind this. Psychologists call it emotional contagion. We literally absorb the emotional state of the people around us. If you spend significant time with someone operating in a low frequency, fear, resentment, scarcity, your brain starts running on that same frequency. And when your brain operates from scarcity, it makes scarcity decisions. Research on high net worth individuals consistently shows one pattern. Wealthy, successful people are ruthlessly selective about who has access to their time and energy. Warren Buffett put it simply, hang out with people better than you and you'll drift in that direction. That's not arrogance, that's prosperity strategy. Direct action. This week, identify the 3 relationships that drain you the most. You don't have to cut everyone off overnight, but you do need to set conscious limits. Less time, less availability, more protection. 2. The internal thief. This one is the most dangerous and the hardest to admit, because this thief doesn't come from outside. It lives inside you. It's your own thoughts. Shi Hengyi speaks about this directly. The greatest enemy is not outside. It is the untrained mind. Think about how much energy you spend every day on thoughts that go nowhere, worrying about things you can't control right now, rehearsing arguments that haven't happened yet, comparing yourself to others, replaying past mistakes on a loop. Here's a number that should wake you up. Neuroscientists estimate we have between 60,000 and 80,000 thoughts per day, and up to 80% of those thoughts are negative or repetitive. That is an enormous amount of energy being burned on mental noise. And here's the direct link to your prosperity. Creativity, strategic vision, sharp decision-making, all of it requires high-quality mental energy. If your mind is constantly processing internal noise, it simply doesn't have the capacity left to build wealth. The highest performers in business, investing, and entrepreneurship all point to mental clarity as their number one asset. Not capital, not connections, clarity. How do you protect yourself from this thief? First, observe without identifying. A negative thought is not a fact. It's just a thought. Learn to watch it pass like a cloud without grabbing onto it. Second, build mental hygiene rituals. Meditation, journaling, physical exercise, intentional silence, not as luxuries, as non-negotiable maintenance for your most valuable asset. Third, redirect, don't suppress. Don't try to force yourself to stop thinking about something. Instead, actively train your focus toward where you want to go. 3. The generosity illusion. This is the point I promised you at the start, and it's the one that makes people the most uncomfortable. Many people believe that giving is always a virtue, that being available to everyone is kindness, that saying no is selfish, and that belief is silently destroying their prosperity. There's a massive difference between genuine generosity and weak boundaries dressed up as virtue. Genuine generosity comes from abundance. You give because you have. You give with intention. You give without losing yourself. Weak boundaries dressed as virtue say yes when they mean no. They help out of fear of rejection. They sacrifice for approval. And eventually, they resent. They burn out. They empty out. The Shaolin master would say, you cannot pour water from an empty vessel. And financially, this is equally real. If you spend your time, attention, and energy on everything and everyone without discernment, there's nothing left to build your own prosperity with. The protection here is mastering the strategic no, not as cruelty, as responsibility toward your mission and your abundance. Every no you say to what doesn't serve you is a yes you're giving to your purpose. The most successful people in the world are not the most available. They are the most intentional. We live in the age of information overload, and that comes with an enormous energetic cost that almost nobody is calculating. How many times do you check your phone per day? How much news do you consume that you can't control and that only generates anxiety? How much time do you spend on social media comparing your real life to someone else's highlight reel? Every unnecessary notification interrupts your brain mid-task and forces it to spend energy processing new, often irrelevant information. Productivity research shows that every single interruption costs an average of 23 minutes of recovered focus. 23 minutes per interruption. Think about how many interruptions you have in a day. And social media algorithms are designed, literally engineered, to keep you in a dopamine loop that consumes your attention and gives you very little in return. High performers and wealthy individuals are known for having an extremely conscious and controlled relationship with technology and information. Many of them have strict no-phone policies during peak hours. Some don't check email before noon. They treat their attention like money, because it is. Concrete practice. Set specific windows for checking news and social media. Use Do Not Disturb during your most productive hours. Delete what doesn't add real value. Your energy is too valuable to donate to an algorithm. 5. Your physical and mental environment. The last thief is invisible, but it's working on you every single minute. It's your environment. Physical clutter, a chaotic home, a messy desk, a disorganized space drains mental energy constantly. Your brain processes your visual environment at all times, and visual chaos creates cognitive load. You're spending energy just existing in disorder. Your mental environment, the conversations you have, the media you consume, the books you read, the audio you listen to, is shaping your frequency around the clock. Shi Hengyi emphasizes the environment as a training ground. You cannot cultivate discipline in chaos, And you cannot cultivate prosperity in a mental environment of scarcity, noise, and negativity. Action. Do an environment audit this week. What is entering your mind through your eyes and ears every day? Does it elevate you or drain you? Make changes, small ones, but intentional, because the environment you tolerate is the life you're creating. Let's bring it all together. The 5 silent energy thieves. 1. Emotional vampires feeding off your attention and time. 2. Your own untrained mind burning energy on noise and negativity. 3. False generosity with weak boundaries draining your resources. 4. Digital noise fragmenting your focus and stealing your clarity. 5. A physical and mental environment that pulls your frequency down. Protecting your energy is not selfishness. It is the foundation of every real success story. You cannot build abundance from exhaustion. You cannot attract wealth from a frequency of fear and distraction. You cannot create your best life while donating your best energy to everything that doesn't build you. As Shi Hengyi teaches, discipline is not restriction. It is the highest form of freedom. And I'll add this: protecting your energy is the most important investment you can make, starting today. If this video brought you value, hit subscribe right now. Every week I bring you content like this to help you build a real prosperity mindset and a life that actually reflects it. And drop a comment below. Which of these 5 energy thieves is showing up the most in your life right now? I want to read your answer. I'll see you in the next one.